We took a lot of pride and passion to close out Floyd Casey Stadium in style.
We always thought it could be done.
It's mind-boggling. It's really spectacular.
At the all-new McLean Stadium on the campus of Baylor University. This is Baylor Game Day, presented by Capital Farm Credit. And brought to you in part by Pizza Hut, Target Restoration, Beltone, and KWTX News 10 Sports. This is Baylor Game Day, live from Touchdown Alley on KWTX News 10.
It's a new kind of walk. Just a couple of hours ago, the Baylor football team got on the bridge, walked over the water, and headed over to McLean Stadium for tonight's opener with SMU. For the first time in almost 80 years, football is back on the Baylor campus here at beautiful McLean Stadium. We're so excited to be a part of this first ever edition of Baylor Game Day here on KWTX. We also want to welcome in our viewers who are watching online at KWTX.com and on Fox Sports Southwest.
So what can you expect from Baylor Game Day? Rowdy fans behind us, that's clear. But other than that, to be honest, we don't really know. I think these guys would agree with me. But what we can promise you is players, coaches, fans, all Baylor football all the time as the new era begins here at McLean Stadium.
We also want to introduce you to Terrence Ganaway. Baylor fans, really, he doesn't need an introduction. Of course, played for Baylor football team under head coach Art Briles, and he also played with the St. Louis Rams. Last time we saw you in the green and gold, you were tearing it up against Washington in that Alamo Bowl.
Baylor Game Day is here. What a great time to be around Baylor atmosphere. This atmosphere is gorgeous, beautiful. McLean Stadium right behind us. I bet you right now, if you hand me the ball right now, I can take 89 yards.
Don't short yourself, 89.
I know, 89 yards for a touchdown. And I know, Dan, you think a safety would catch him, but there's no safety in the Big 12 that can catch Terrence
I couldn't catch you. I know that for sure.
For sure.
I definitely couldn't. And you said this is a beautiful thing today, obviously, behind us. I passed a father and his son walking around earlier, and they just were staring at the stadium. They said, this is the real deal. I mean, this is something Baylor has waited for more than 100-plus years of football. This is the real deal. Beautiful stadium, great team. Couldn't be better right now for Baylor.
Brian, you alluded to it. We have a lot to get to during our show today. Well, let's give you a little preview, some of the headlines, what we're going to get to today. RG3, he is back in Central Texas today. A little earlier ago, he had his statue unveiled. We will show you that. We'll also talk to him live on set.
One of the best linebackers ever to play, not just at Baylor, but all of football. Mike Singletary is back in Waco. He'll join us live on set to discuss the success of his alma mater.
And this stadium would not have been possible without the backing of Baylor alum Drayton McLean, the man who provided one of the biggest contributions for the stadium and whose name is on the stadium. He will join us later in the show.
First things first, every single week on Baylor Game Day, we're going to start things up with a little thing we call the opening drive.
The opening drive, presented by Waco Mattress Center.
We start with a look at the quarterback for the Bears. He really needs no introduction. Bryce Petty, back for year 2 as the Bears' starting QB. And the truth is, he's one of the leading candidates for the Heisman Trophy this year. Last year, 4,200 yards passing, 32 touchdowns. A lot of people want to see, can he do it again in 2014?
Bryce is definitely a special player for this offense. But look what we're losing at Lake Strunk and Glasgow Martin. What shocked Linwood, when you have a running back named Shock, you're expecting a lot, and he's from East Texas. Thank you very much. But
East Texas puts out some players.
I know they do. Devin Chafin and Johnny Jefferson, we expect a lot from these young guys today.
So how about today's opponent? It's SMU. No more Garrett Gilbert under center for the Mustangs. Neil Burcham is the next man up.
Who?
Who? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out today. He started a couple games last year for SMU. It'll be interesting to see how he reacts to that big-time atmosphere today.
We talk about Baylor, we talk about SMU, but the truth is, one of the biggest storylines today is this is a brand new stadium, McLean Stadium. I know you got a chance to take a cool little tour of it.
I sure did, and in this week's Behind the Green and Gold, we go inside the brand new McLean Stadium.
Behind the Green and Gold, presented by Allen Samuels Chevrolet.
I dreamed too small. I envisioned something, but my envisions weren't reality. The reality is much grander, much better, and just more magnificent.
The 45,000-seat McLean Stadium, Baylor's brand new palace on the Brazos.
Graphic in the locker room said be the standard. I'm absolutely convinced that this is the standard for college football stadiums in America.
The stadium has features you just don't see all that often. A recruiting room complete with flat screens and field access. One of the largest scoreboards in all of college football, and a Baylor team hungry to get there and get going.
I mean, I felt like I was walking into a palace. You know, I haven't been in too many of those, but I mean, it's just the whole thing is beautiful. It really is.
It's the best stadium in the country, and I'm glad I'm here at Baylor, where in my hometown in Waco, where I'm getting to play it.
What sets the stadium apart more than anything is the setting, nestled right along the banks of the Brazos.
It's really spectacular, and when you get that thing full of, Baylor people and the river full and people outside the stadium, it's going to be, I think, an unequaled atmosphere in America just because of the setting.
Man, that's awesome. I dreamed big, but I never would thought it'd look like that. It looks great. I'm ready to get over there.
And in case you think it may take some time for the Bears to feel at home in their new den, Coach Art Briles says think again.
Oh, it's home, without question. I mean, all you got to do is look around. You don't wonder where you're at. So, no, it's home, and when we're anxious to get on the field and, eat the first meal, so to speak. We're ready to go to work.
You would be hard-pressed to find anybody who is not impressed with this stadium. The location on I-35, it's beautiful, it's on the river. Now, just a couple years ago, you were playing on this team. What do you think is going through the players' minds right now?
That Baylor's here now. I mean, when you drive down 35, there's a ton of schools in Texas that are really known for their football program, but you can't help but to notice what Baylor football has risen to today. And right now, these players are walking in there. They want the spotlight. They want everybody's eyes in Texas to be right on them. And so I guess those guys right now is about to be, they're about to make some great plays tonight.
And you heard me in the story say this stadium has features you just don't see everywhere else. How about a recruiting room? A room designed just for football recruits to come watch a game, has flat screens, field access.
Field level.
Field level. If I'm a college football recruit, I'm coming to Baylor.
And I had a chance to cover the high school game in here Friday, and that was electric enough. I can't imagine what the atmosphere is going to be like today. Grant Taft, the former Baylor coach, flipped the coin on that game on Friday, and he said, this is unbelievable. He never could have imagined. All he ever wanted at Floyd Casey was grass on the field, because they practiced on that field and it just wore the grass down. All he wanted was grass. Cannot believe that this has come true.
Well, I'm glad we got turf today, because that makes our players a little bit faster.
All right, but Terrence, let me ask you one question here. Is there any concern that the guys are going to be too hyped? I mean, all we've talked about for the last 8 months is this new stadium.
I mean, definitely. These guys are going to have a lot of excitement, a lot of jitters, early jitters, maybe some drop balls early on, but that's just normal with anybody playing the game. I think that these guys come out, soak it all in as much as they can, and then at the end of the day, it's just football. And we play BU football, we're all right.
We are just getting started here on the inaugural edition of Baylor Game Day. Still ahead on the show this evening. Some are calling it the stadium that RG3 built. Now he's got the statue to prove it. The man himself joins us on set. And how about this? Maybe the best defensive player in NFL history, Mike Singletary. He'll join us live as well. What does he think about the success of his alma mater? He'll be telling us on Baylor Game Day. And if you're on the go today and each and every week, you can watch Baylor Game Day streaming online. Check it out at KWTX.com. You're watching Baylor Game Day on KWTX News 10 and Fox Sports Southwest.
Hey, everybody, I'm Art Briles, and you're watching Baylor Game Day on KWTX News 10.